What's going on, guys?
Now, as you can see, it's winter, and I've come across another problem with the Fiesta that I didn't actually know about until we got this kind of weather. It's freezing cold, and as you've just seen, the windows on the car are all steamed up, as you'd expect. But I can't really clear them very well. And that's because the fans, or blowers, whatever you want to call them, are only working on speed number 4. I'm getting absolutely nothing on 1, 2, or 3. Now, this is a pretty common problem with these Fiestas, and I think quite a few Fords, and it's quite a simple fix. Yes, I could just use it on number 4 all the time, but it makes a hell of a racket, and you don't really want to be driving around with the fans on full all the time. I bought this car during the first national lockdown in the summer, so you might think, well, surely if your heater controls weren't working properly back then, you'd have noticed. You would have had them on for the aircon or something like that. But I didn't, because the car wasn't taxed or insured back then. I've only recently got that done. Now, there is a first drive video coming up. Obviously, you've seen bits in other videos of me driving this car on the road. It was taxed and insured when that happened. But, you know, some other things came up and everything hasn't really gone in quite the same order it actually happened. But you will see a first drive video coming very soon. And it's worth looking out for because there's quite a few things that have been done to this car since I got it that you have no idea about just yet. But enough about that for now. It's time we got on with today's video. And that's all about replacing this. This is a resistor pack, and it's basically the reason that we've got no fans on numbers 1, 2 and 3. Because these tend to blow, and I mean, I don't really know how they work, but I've got a rough idea. So as you can see, we're getting no fans on any setting apart from number 4. 3's dead, 2's dead, 1's dead. But it's all go on number 4. And the reason that happens, I think, is because this resistor pack creates, like the name suggests, resistance in the circuit when you know, depending on what setting you choose, it creates the extra resistance used to, not to put the fan speed up, but to actually bring it down from number 4. So like, as you go down from 4 to 3, it increases the resistance in the circuit slightly, making the fan spin slower. And then when you go to setting number 2, it increases that resistance again, slowing down the fan further. And then the same, more resistance, lower fan speed on number 1, and then eventually there's just the off position. Or at least that's how I think it works. I'm not 100% sure, but that is pretty much bang on our issue. Like, I know that's the problem. I'm, 99% sure that's what's causing it because it's such a common thing with these cars. How it works exactly, I'm just sort of speculating based on like my knowledge of electrical circuits, but enough about that. Let's get on and change this resistor pack out, and then hopefully I can actually clear my windscreen without deafening myself at the same time. Maybe a bit dramatic, but I don't want to drive around with it on number 4 all the time, and I know you wouldn't either, so let's get it changed out. So this resistor pack is located behind the dashboard, and you access it from behind this panel right here. First things first is this plastic rivet here. Now, it's a plastic rivet with a sort of plastic screw inside it, which separates the sort of barbs on the rivet when you push it in. Now, it's quite fiddly to get out because you have to try and lever the rivet out while twisting, otherwise it doesn't come out very easily. But I've found that it's much easier to remove just using one of these pry tools. I find it much easier to use a pry tool to fetch that out. I'll just show you what that actually looks like. So the way that works, what you're supposed to do is just use I think it's a Phillips screwdriver, and then you would wind that screw back out of there. Kind of just like threads in, and when it goes in, sorry I'm not showing this very well, it kind of pushes these pieces apart and holds the panel in. But because it's only a plastic screw, it doesn't really grip the threads inside here very well, and you'll find you actually have to use something to pry this centerpiece out slightly while you unscrew it, while you twist, otherwise it'll just spin. So that's why I like to use that pry tool instead. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, it's not damaged it at all, I can still use it, so I think I've got spares of these if I did anyway. So, right, now that's off. It's time to get this panel off, and this panel now should, yeah, just pulls off like so. That's the easy bit. Now it's the tricky bit of actually finding this resistor pack. Now I know where it is, but the issue is not finding it for me, it's showing you where it is. So let's dive under there and see if we can show you where to find it. Now the best way I've found to get in here to get to this thing is to sort of sit the wrong way round in the seat with my legs up over behind the headrest, because then I can see properly up behind the dash. Now I'll bring you in a second and show you where exactly this thing is. I just wanted to show you how I got in here. And if anyone knows the official procedure for doing this from Ford, I'd be grateful if you could let me know, because I'd love to see if their technicians end up like this when they try and change these out. I doubt it. For motion sickness, I suggest you skip forward a few seconds while we fold ourselves back into here. Because I wouldn't want to make anybody sick while we're doing this, but I wanted to show you exactly where we are. So here's the, which pedal is that? The clutch. There's the clutch pedal. And then we need to go up. Oh, balls. Right, it's that white connector behind there. If I put you any further up, we end up behind the steering rack, I believe. I don't know what that is. Oh, damn it. There it is. It's just that white connector there, if you can see that. Okay, I've just flipped the camera over because of where the actual lens sits, so I can get better access like this. So there you go. That's the resistor pack there, where it plugs in. There's two, I wonder if I can take you any closer. There's two T25 Torx screws, one at the bottom there. Oh, can I show you the top? I don't think I can. Oh, hang on, there we go. I think. I can't actually see the camera screen now because it's behind one of the pedals, but I believe that's one of the Torx screws, and there's the other one, I think, from my angle. So let's get those undone and see if we can get it out. Sorry if my voice sounds a bit strange, but I'm bent so funny in here, in this position, that yeah, it's not going to be great audio. You'll have to bear with me. Okay, no, I was wrong. It's actually a T20 Torx screw. Not only am I showing you me unscrewing this at great expense to my own neck, shoulders, back, whatever else, this angle I can just see one tiny corner of the screen, which is helping me line up my little Torx bit to unscrew that. So it's not just for show, but there we go. So that's those two screws out. Luckily I could actually undo them by hand and didn't need to get a ratchet in here. So it just kind of pulls out of there and somewhere, oh, there it is. See? And it just came out of, there you go. It just came out of there. It doesn't plug into anything, that's just like the housing that holds it in, I suppose. So that's that. And there it is, hanging down below the dash. Now it's really simple to swap this out. It's literally just an electrical connector. You press the tab in at the top here, my thumb is, press that in, wiggle it out. There you go. It's probably worth just, checking that. You probably can't see that very well because of the flash on the camera, but just checking that the plugs are the same, and then just make sure you get the right way around, and then plug it in. And there it is, clicks in, ready to go back in. Might be worth just testing this before folding yourself in and out of the footwell again and reinstalling it, because it should work fine just hanging there. So, Very quiet, number one, but it is on. There's 2. 3. And 4. Okay, so they're working. So now it's time to ruin my back again, get back under the dash and reinstall that resistor. What else do I need? I don't want to have to come back up again. Well, I think that's it. Right, let's go. Once again, it's going to be quite difficult for me to show you this and film it and put it in at the same time, but I have just noticed, so if you can see where the 2 like screw holes sit, there's one central at the bottom and then the other one is like off to the right. And if you look at the back of like this where it sits in, I can't really get a great angle under here, but that's the bottom because that like tab or that hole's in the center, and then that's the top because that one's off to the right hand side. So you've got to make sure it goes in that way. I don't think you're actually going to see me put it in. You do kind of like feel it seat in. So that's just sat in there now. I'm going to try and wind the screws in by hand. I think it's threading in. They only thread into like plastic, and I believe it's kind of like self-tappers, so it's not gone in great, but I'll do them up with the Torx bit in a minute. See, the top one actually like bites a little bit. So you can feel that like biting into something on mine. The bottom one just kind of twisted really easily, and I did notice when I took it out, one of the screws had like plastic like wound around the threads, so I'm guessing that the bottom one maybe is like stripped out the plastic where it screws into or something. Maybe it's been changed out before, because like the top one is quite a bit of, if you'll pardon the pun, resistance in that screw. Ooh, I've just broke something. Oh dear. I think I just broke the tab that rivet that holds a trim on somewhere there. I think I just broke part of that off. So maybe don't use a pry tool. Bad me. Shouldn't have done that. Whoops. Anyway, let's see if I can screw this back in. Maybe we should have called it bodge it and break it rather than mend it, mod it. Yeah, that's just spinning, so that's shagged. I'll try and do the top one in as tight as it'll go, and then hopefully that'll stay in place. It's held in there, and I'm tired of being under here. I can't believe I broke that. That's annoyed me. I thought it'd be fine. Oh well, one thing fixed, another thing broken. So I'm just gonna go ahead and refit the trim. Like I said, probably worth, you know, in hindsight now, actually putting this back in the way it's supposed to go. So actually separating this plastic rivet. Well, I'm saying you should probably take it out the right way as well, because I've broken the tab it sits in. I'm hoping it'll still hold, but just push that part in, and then, I mean, it says to wind this in, but I'm pretty sure it'll just pop in. Yeah, see, it's just falling out now, so I've well and truly broken that, so that's a pain in the ass. We'll push it all back in and just see if it'll hold. And then if it falls off, I'll have to figure out another way of attaching that. That's really annoying, but oh well, not to worry. So there we are, that's that done. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not totally happy about, there's still a bit of noise that the fans are making, even on the lower speeds, so that's kind of a concern. But anyway, that's nothing for me to worry about today. That's going to wrap it up for this one. It's another one of these things that hopefully will be quite useful to some of you guys. I've seen people post about this on the Facebook pages recently, and I've seen other videos, but you know, this was just my take on it, and hopefully this will help you if you need to do this yourself. If this video did help you out and you did like it, please let me know. Your feedback really helps. A thumbs up, that would be fantastic, and if you could leave a comment on what you think, you know, it all really helps me out. And if you like this video, maybe go and check out some of my others. If you like those, maybe subscribe. Who knows? Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.